welcome to Lion Arboretum's Facebook live stream. I'm Hadley Anderson, the education specialist here at Lion Arboretum, and today we have a treat for you. You may have remembered when we did our air layering with Tim, he air layered an ulu tree. Now here's the big thing. What happens after you have air layered your ulu tree? Have a beautiful ulu tree, and then have all of this breadfruit that you need to do something with. Well, we have an answer for you. Clancy and our facilities manager, is going to teach us a little bit about the different varieties of ulu, as well as some tried and true recipes for cooking ulu. So, thanks Clancy for coming on board. You can come on this way. There you go.
Oh, all right.
Thank you, Clancy. Yes.
All right, guys. In webinar land, we're going to change it up today. We're gonna just follow in the series of Tim. He was doing a ulu air layering series, and then we're gonna follow that up with how do you prep it, cook it, and use ulu, and how do you identify it? So
you got a ton of ulu up there.
I'm not a botanist or a scientific plant guy, but I've used ulu or different varieties of kalo and ulu and uala in my cooking. So today we're going to talk about some ulu, but first I want to say that, well, it's for me, and I've learned this through a while back, but when you're around food, you want to have good intentions. You always want to have good positive thoughts around your food, because that's what's going to base your product is going to be based off how you react and how you treat your food. So I just want to get that through, that we're always going to have good thoughts and good vibes around our food when we start cooking. So today we're going to talk about ulu, and we have 3 different varieties here on property, on the Lion Arboretum's property. First we have a Hawaiian variety, and the leaves are quite larger, and there's more fingers to it than the other varieties, and it's a little bit rounder and a little bit bigger. I'm not too sure what the name of the variety is. I was trying to get it from our botanist, but nobody seems to know, so we're just gonna say Hawaiian variety. Okay, then we have Samoan variety, and the Tongans use this variety too. It's called Ma'opo, and as you can see, the leaves are there's not that many fingers to it like the Hawaiian variety, and it's a little bit it's rounder, but not as round as the Hawaiian variety. And this would probably be one of my favorites, the Ma'opo. And our last variety that we have on property is called the Ma'afala, which is a common variety here in Hawaii. It's another Samoan Tongan variety, and it's more oblong, and the fingers are a lot thicker, if you can see, and it's a little bit oblong. It's not as round, and it's a little smaller than the other different varieties. But ulu, you can steam it. I steamed this ulu. This was the Hawaiian variety, so you can just steam it, and I steamed it whole, and then I cut it up at the end when I was done. But it's pretty soft. Yeah. Want to try? It's a heavy starch, so you can throw this in your stews, your soups, your chowders. You can also make this into a mash, like mashed potatoes or hummus, ulu hummus, right? There's a lot of different varieties that you can do with ulu. But today I'm gonna show you how I prep it. And I just want to say one more thing. When you pick the ulu, you got about 1 or 2 days before it starts getting real soft. Okay? And when that happens, then you gotta start cooking it, steaming it, boiling it. You can put it on the hibachi. You can do a number of variety of things, okay?
So Clancy, can I ask, why is this variety your favorite?
It's because I used it in a lot of my cooking dishes, and it's the go-to variety for me. Like, I know where there's a lot of maopo trees on Oahu, and I know a lot of friends who have the maopo tree. So for me, it's a go-to. So when we do catering, like if we have catering orders and it's in season, then we go to the maopo. And it's real. It's not as thick as the Hawaiian variety, but it's still good.
Okay. I think, I always think bigger is better, so why not go for the Hawaiian variety?
I don't know. I'm not too familiarized with the Hawaiian variety, so I'm not gonna judge. I'm just gonna go off on my own experiences. But I'm just gonna show you how I prep my ulu, and I do it in a number of ways. So like, I already have one. This should be the Hawaiian variety, and I used it to make baked chips, as you can see. Let me try and taste one. Oh yeah. So it's baked chips. You can fry it in oil, put it in your wok, but I just baked it. And I just dipped it in a little bit of oil and baked it for like 400 degrees at about 15 minutes, and put some salt on it and let it get a little crispy. And the texture you can, and I left the skin on, and I'll show you. But oh man, that's pretty good. Okay, so when I do chips, I'm just gonna cut it into thin strips with the skin on. I like to leave the skin on for some texture. So I'm just gonna cut, and if you have a mandolin, it's even better, but I don't have a mandolin. So I cut and it's a little bit green, if you can see. It's not real soft like these ones. So when I press it, you see how soft it is? I won't use that to make chips, okay? And you just cut your strips, however big you want. Okay? And then you can put it on a pan, and can we break the pan? And then we'll just put it on our pan. Well, we'll dip it in the oil, and then we'll just put it on the pan. Okay.
When we were prepping this, it was making sure that they weren't going to be touching, right?
Yeah. So you want to put it on and make sure that none of them are touching each other. And you can just put it in the oven. And then you can also use this to make stews. So I'll just cut it in cubes like this, right?
Even with the skin on?
Yeah. Because you're gonna render it down. So you can throw this in your stews, or, so you know, these are good size chunks. So it's like a substitute for your potatoes, but you throw the ulu in. Or if you want to make chowder, then you would just dice this up into little dice pieces, right? Like this. Okay. Nice and chowdery looking type of texture. Okay. So there's a lot of different varieties that you can do. But I'll show you how to cut a ulu. And what I do is I'll just cut the stem off. So you gotta watch, there's a lot of milk because the Hawaiians used to use this as their glue. It's a good adhesive, if you want to call it. Okay. So I just cut a flat part on the bottom of the stem, and then I'll come and just trim it off like this, right, all the way down. Yeah. And I'm just following this line. Okay, I'm just following this line. And I've got my knife set, so I'm using the Arboretum's knife.
They look like they need a good sharpen.
Yeah. No, we need just new knives.
These are always easier if you have a sharp knife.
So if anybody in webinar land is watching, please, we need knives. No, just joking. Okay, so we're just gonna trim it as nice as you can. This is with the skin off. Okay. And this is what and can you get the trash?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And then, so this is how I did this ulu. Okay. And it's very sticky, so you gotta keep cleaning your knife, okay? And then I'll just, well, this one is a little too young, but we'll use it. Okay, then when you just cut it in half. Okay. Well, I would steam it like this, whole, or boil it, just like that, whole. And then at the end, I'll cut it in half. Because then this seed part is easier to come out. Okay? So then you just take the seed out. And it's harder when you don't steam it, to take out the seed. Okay? But it eventually comes off. Okay? Just like that. And then I'll just put this on the side. Oh, let me throw this on. Okay? Then from here you have a variety of options that you can do. You can cut it into blocks like I did here to make your beef stew or whatever you want to do. Okay. And you can just cut it into cubes. Yeah, I like big chunks. Yeah, just like that. Remember now, this is after you steam it or boil it, okay? And this is the product. So after you boil it, it will look like this. And you can mash it. You can, right from here, you can mash it to make, you know, ulu mash. Mm-hmm. You can pound it to make ulu pa'iai on your board, your papa ku'iai or your pohaku ku'iai. You could make pancakes with ulu. There's so many different varieties of things that you can do. So
with the pancakes, wouldn't you want something really super right? Something
yeah, you want, yeah, of course, you're gonna, so a lot of the stew ones, soupy ones that you're gonna do is all gonna be the green ones. All the, you know, like the mashes and the, you know, like the pancakes and the hummus, it's all gonna be the softer ones. Yep.
I noticed that with the softer ones, that I just learned this from trying to pick some of these, that the seed will just come straight out if it's soft enough, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you can just squeeze out the insides and mix that into your pancake mix.
You could.
Yeah.
You could.
Is that a good way to do it?
Well, I mean, not really, but you could.
But so we'll follow the happy method.
But, you know, go out there, plant your trees, and experiment with the ulu fruit. It's a great staple in Hawaii. We have a ulu co-op in the state of Hawaii that's focusing on ulu, different varieties of ulu, getting the community to use ulu a lot in the community to sustain ourselves here on the islands. And this is a great carb. It's a great carb. It's to me it's better than potatoes. I'm just biased, but yeah. And
but anything you can do with a potato, you can do with
anything you can do with a potato, you can do with ulu. My favorite is kalo poke, which is kalo, ulu, and you make a poke out of it. It's a meatless poke, but it's called kalo poke. So you're using kalo and ulu in cubes, you know, like this, and you make your little poke. You do you know, sesame oil, inamona, you do chili flake powder, flakes, you do, you know, little bit of Hawaiian salt, pa'akai, some inamona, you know, some limu to mix it up and make your poke. And that's a great way to satisfy the healthy vegetarian, you know,
the vegetarian crowd.
Yeah, the vegetarian crowd or whatever. Yeah, but get out there, guys. Plant your trees. Get your ulus going. And these are just a few different ways of preparing your ulu.
Thank you so much, Clancy, for showing us that.
See you guys later.
If you want to see more, if you're interested in seeing community classes like this, maybe we might be starting to do that. So please comment in the section below on what kind of classes you might want to see from us in the future.
Maybe on the next one I'll do a kalo poke.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, teach you guys how to make the kalo poke. So, and it's through a program called Ipono, which was started by Uncle Herb Ho, who lives on Molokai, and this is his recipe that I'm using. So I just want to shout out to Uncle Herbert Ho. Also, Kealoha Domingo, Chef Kealoha Domingo, who still carries on this Ulu traditions of preparing foods traditionally. So shout out to those two guys.
Yeah.
And Auntie Tammy Smith, who also is Uncle Herb's daughter, and Uncle Danny, which is her husband. So they're the ones that has a lot of influence on my style of cooking, and I want to props to them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Clancy.
All right, guys.
Thank you for everybody who tuned in and who's going to be watching this video too. Be brave. Go and try a whole new vegetable.
No,
Starch.
it's a fruit.
It's a fruit. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Try a whole new fruit, and don't be afraid to experiment. So comment in the section below if you'd like to see more classes like this, and we will see you next time. Love we hope.